Superman mythology is quite hilarious. Alright, so Superman mythology. It's not saying super god or anything, you're Superman, because everything's god. So, like, everyone is Superman. This is kind of cool. The machine that they have to terraform the Earth, it goes like an anode and a cathode, okay? So imagine on your 12 down here, okay? Your 12. You're going to add +1 for the 1, +1 for the 2. So it's a 14. Circle 13, let's say. Anyway, you're half of 28. We're going from a 12 to a 15 to reading it backwards to +ing 1 to getting a 52. 52. 5 receive senses, 2 transmit senses, because you're going to be transmitting towards the consciousness of the Earth you live in and the consciousness of creating a cellular energy device, which is another Earth. It's a realm, it's a galaxy. Okay? Now, how does the terraforming machine work on Man of Steel? Directed by Zack Snyder, you know, this up-and-coming little hotshot guy. Anyways, he's young, a very young guy, making shit like this. It has a heartbeat, okay? The anode and cathode are like one of them is like sucking up magnetism, and then all the metal stuff's hitting the ground, and sucking up magnetism and hitting the ground. And the other one is like in the water, and it's doing a water thing. It's like Neptune. Okay, guy, do you know what it's doing? It's doing this. I gotta make enough ages of the Earth so that it's all like mixed up and scrambled, right? So it's been terraformed to like pure base pureness, so we can start from the pureness. Okay, guy, like the whole idea of turning it on and off is to like literally start the eddy currents to create a vacuum to create a black hole, contained, right? So like by the terraformer in that movie that's gonna terraform the Earth to make it krypton, you know, it's basically gonna like reduce it to the sameness, okay? Everything is going to be the sameness, like, you know? And they want to do everything by the book, and everyone who's born is born by the book, and like literally in a system of you're born for this purpose. And Superman, Clark Kent guy, or Kal-El, is born naturally by his parents. And that doesn't happen over in Krypton, because you know you can't have a gypsy, you can't have a hippie caste in a society of basically genetically engineered assholes. So like those Kryptonian bad guys are like the Hollywood and the media and the people in the know of life, okay, that control your food, that control your entertainment, that control your governing of the mental. All right, so that's knowing the secrets of creation, but keeping it hidden, because they don't want you to wake up to this consciousness, or they do. And this energy source, or they do. I don't think they do, because they would have like said it by now, like pretty openly, not hidden in plain sight kind of thing. So like when you come up to this conclusion, it's like, okay, interesting. Like their way is control and slavery. But we have to wake up from our slavery in order to be allowed freedom? I mean, you gotta understand that you are Superman, because you're the only guy here. Everything else is a god. It's your bubble. And we all have our own bubble, and we live in a bubble. And once our consciousness bubble is like the same as everyone else's in terms of what's going on here, we're all gonna make bigger bubbles in the bubble. So like, I think life will get better than it presently is. So yeah, that was funny. You want to go from 12s to 52s. 5 to 1 guy. So 50 ways to leave your lover. L. Yeah, it even had a scene, it said 106 days without an accident. And when he hits the sign, everything falls off except the 0 and the 1. Or the 1 swivels, or something swivels. I don't know. Anyway. 106 days. It's just a clever way of putting 116. Okay. Yeah, Man of Steel by Zack Snyder had a lot of numbers, a lot of that. I don't really want to go into that. I like the machine, you know, they look like it looked like a giant flux capacitor with like, it was a tripod with like a big, like let's say like a 3x3 with like legs that kind of like crab legged and then shot a frequency, no less, really. Turning the battery on and off. Every time you turn the battery on and off, you create a consciousness, you create life, you create a people's, a something, right? All depends on your math of your machine, probably. And every time you turn it off, you know, everything kind of dies, I guess. So you either make cellular energy, and probably, like, if it's working, like, they might want to use it for a while. And if, like, a day to them is 1,000 years for us, wouldn't that mean, like, infinite awesomeness? And there's probably like a whole lot of other lessons to be learned here when you expand all this and you understand more of the intricacies. But I really don't think there's anything more than what am I eating tomorrow and being awesome to everyone all of the time. So like, yeah. It was bothering me in Tropic Thunder. Tom Cruise says, or Matthew McConaughey, one of them, they're talking about being like, you know, rich and stuff. And it's like a G5. And then Matthew McConaughey goes, like a G5 plane? Okay, so that was bugging me, because I was like, was that like Mandela or something? And I was like, it should be G6, but I'm pretty sure there's probably a G5 plane, and it's probably a little bit more reasonable price-wise or something. So it was bothering me, but now I'm just looking at it, and I get it now, because it's like the G, the 4x4, but it's got like, you know, 2 depths of dimension. Like this line and this line. It's kind of like, I don't know, like files, like a Rolodex. It's like a Rolodex centered here, and right now it's open to that one, but there's others, you know. A G5. You know, 50 is just really, it's in a circle, it's in a cell. It could be looked at like, yeah, you know, it's 52. 5 and 2 is a 7 guy. It's all about the 7. It's a 50. There's 2 things. It's like a 52. I'm not like, not hard to rationalize that. And that's the Omega guy. That's like capital Z is like the last of our alphabet. That's the end. And it's in the path of a 7. Kind of like middled, you know, on the 7 from a certain point of view. Kind of interesting. So yeah, Superman. We're all Superman because we're the only man that exists in Earth. Everything else is God, you know? Everything else is God. Just say everything's God. Man and God are reversed. That's how you don't forget your left and rights, and from whose point of view it becomes rather irrelevant, wouldn't it, you say? So, like, takes the ego out of the equation. So everything's God. A lot of 3 of one symbolism and pretty much everything. So, like, I don't know, man, Superman. You gotta realize you're Superman. And they're talking all about, I've had a lifetime to master my consciousness or something like that when they're fighting in the end. Or no, I've had a lifetime to master my senses. That's what he said. That's what the guy designed to protect Krypton. That was his job, to protect Krypton. And then all the Kryptonite people are dead except him and Superman. But Superman's more earthling, I guess. And the Krypton guy's like, I have no one left to protect. Right? So he's gonna have fun doing crazy genocide, I guess, for kicks. You know, like that's And he's had a lifetime to master his senses. It means to understand time. Like, you have to want it more than your opponent, I guess, you know? Like, literally. It's all the possibilities of every outcome of every second that passes you by. What could be the best second of that outcome? If people stop acting in fear and start acting more in truth and in fearlessness, yeah, I think you become like the invincible version of you, and you're only around other people in your reality who have to be a certain level to get to that possibility in the Matrix. So yeah, you don't want, like, there's such thing as energy vampires, people that bring you down to their level. They like pity parties. They're not fun. You know, like, that's what I didn't want to be for my friends. So that's why I got ostracized myself, because I wasn't prepared to actually, like, you know, talk about what the hell this is all about. But now that I know what it's kind of all about, and I've had some time to digest, and I actually turned someone into Doc Brown, you know, it kind of affects a person. Kind of. But, like, I still want to do that. But I mean, still need a lot more people to be aware. You know, it's too young. You know, if it's not going fast enough for you, quit ragging on me on building it. Why don't you rag on more people to wake up? I mean, if it's bothering you and you want to do something about it, that's something you can do. Something I don't want to do. But you're like, I'll wait. I mean, I'm like, I'll chill some more. I mean, can't force you to do anything you don't want to do. You know, it's like, whatever. So it's all rather interesting to Kevin. Like, look, you have a G, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other slots of the Rolodex kind of thing. We're always talking about the 3 is the 1, or the 13, or the 31, or the 32, 33, or just the +1 for the circle, 32. Many different ways of looking at it. 33, you know, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Not including the 8. So it's just math. I don't know why they can't teach us this. I mean, I don't know why they have to teach us this way. I don't know why. I don't know why that. That's the part I don't know why. Well, obviously slavery, but if slavery's not the answer, like, if there's another answer for why the movies are the way they are and how they symbolize cellular energy so much, and if it's not slavery, I'd like to hear what the answer is. Like, is it because I need to wake up? To wake up everyone? Is everyone waiting on me? I feel kind of bad about that then. So, like, should have been done yesterday. If I tried any harder, I don't know what that would do. To be trying harder than I currently am. Which is not very hard, because it's not like I got all that much out of it. And it's not like I'm always working anyway, right? So it's like, I mean, it's just like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills if someone can't see what I see. You know, I haven't even started looking at diagonals yet. Man, there's like so many different 1x-whatevers on the 45s. Like, what's a 1 of 6 of 13 of 340 all about? It's like taking it to the next level. There's so much stuff here, guy. I need like some guy like that's like awesome at matrices and like Excel and wants to like nerd up every permutation. I mean, like, could be probably useful. But like, there's like a lot of stuff that could be done here. I mean, it's fun spending lots of millions of dollars on making movies that symbolize it all the time. I mean, like, why not just make the device? I mean, if you're going to symbolize it and terraform Earth because Krypton and make a whole lot of money off of comic book series and stuff for like a whole lot of years. I think he was Canadian, the guy that made that. Canadians do a lot of things that are kind of like sketchy. Anyway, but yeah, lots of money in that and stuff, you know, kind of like big movie franchise, big comic book franchise. So like, I think I have my comic books here. Just, you know, why don't we just make these instead?